Hello, my name is Gabrielle. This is a little much. She's holding a drumstick and she's up on a grown-up's shoulders. And there is another grown-up holding a drum down here right next to her. And she's beating the drum and she's chanting. She beats the drum and she says, "My body, my choice." And every time she does, the whole crowd, the circle of people around her responds, "Your body, your choice. My body, my choice. Your body, your choice. My body, my choice. Your body, your choice." That image, the beauty of that image, the purity of that image, the playfulness and the joy of that image, mixed with the sorrow and horror of all of the reasons that she needs to be taught to say that. That mixture of things, to me, is a picture of what the atmosphere and the tone and the vibration in the air was like at the Women's March on Washington. Being in wonder at all the amazing, weird, beautiful things that were happening all over the place throughout that whole event, and also like being with the pressure and the fucking sorrow and the injustice and the fear that were all of the reason the march had to happen. Like all of that stuff through the filter of playtime. So it was all very nourishing, even when we were in the moments of like, oh God, this is happening. After the march, we went and we met up with a friend and a friend's friend. So I went from being in a duo with someone that I know very, very well and feel very close to being in a quad with that person and somebody that the person I marched with is very close to, but I like a lot, but am not very close to, and her friend, who I was just meeting then. So I noticed a switch happen. Now that I was around people that I wasn't 100% sure liked me, I stopped playing. So imagining back into that moment, that little half hour of time when it was the four of us, I have this image of like, the two of them going into this mode of like, okay, we got half hour. Who knows when we're going to see each other again? Let's do some fast-paced in-person friendship time. And then like every other minute when they're like hooked in with each other, I just come out of nowhere like, I'm also here. Me too, you guys. Here also. Me also, me. And feeling like the retrospective embarrassment of it, I've been reflecting on the word and the power of the word. One of the reasons that you are currently watching a video of me saying things is because ever since I was a little kid, the world has kind of like patted me on the back and been like, "Hey buddy, you say things. I like when you say things. Keep on saying things." So now, one of the Gabrielles that lives inside of me is this Gabrielle who has this whole life belief that, like, Gabrielle saying cool, smart, good things equals people liking Gabrielle. I've noticed over the years that in the times when I'm not using the power of the word in a way that is present and loving and like asked for by the person or the situation, I find myself just talking to hear myself talk, or talking to cover up my anxiety, or talking to just like fill up empty space, or talking to get people to believe or be something that I feel they should believe or be, talking to manipulate people. So I walked away from that moment hearing the voice of this Gabrielle who's sort of like this like overcorrection counter movement to the talking Gabrielle, who's like this Gabrielle who's like, oh no, talking's bad. Why'd I talk so much? Talking's bad. And recently, I've been more and more waking up to the fact that that tendency in me has been helped to develop by the fact that too many people, seemingly a lot of white and or cisgender people, I appear to be a white cis male, and I've grown up in this world that prioritizes the voice of the white straight cis male. And even though I am not one, I have been afforded a lot of the same privilege, and I'm asking myself, how much in my life have I actively participated in the prioritization of privileged voices over marginalized voices? And I'm starting to discover that the voice in me that believes that I need to speak well to get people to like me is in this like poisonous codependent relationship with the voice in me that believes that because I am perceivable in a certain way, my voice matters more. And that voice, that second voice, that's the voice of the patriarchy. And it's the voice of the patriarchy not speaking from outside of me into my ears. That's the voice of the patriarchy speaking from inside of myself. It is important that we go to the marches, and that we make the calls, and that we make the donations, and that we stay awake to this event horrifyingly unfolding in the outer world. But it's not enough. What of the forces that made Trump happen live inside of me as well? What am I ignoring? What am I projecting onto others? What have I learned to become comfortable with that fuels injustice? What am I willing to give up for freedom? Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Does that include our inside places? Most of the time when I'm saying something that might be perceived as feminist, there's this like Gabrielle in the background of myself who's kind of going like, hey guys, did you hear what I said? I'm being super feminist right now. Guys, I'm so feminist. But in that moment when I was with that crowd, that circle of people, chanting your body, your choice, responding to that little girl, that voice was silenced. And I was like too occupied being with the people, being in this circle of people that's standing in this world that wants that little girl to believe that her body is not her own and that her choice does not matter, and spontaneously unifying to help her to know, to help her to hear herself say that her body is her own, her voice matters, her choice matters, she matters. Using the power of the rhythm, the power of the shape, the circle, and using the power of the word. Yeah.